Hello, everyone, and welcome. So excited that you're here with us today, that you've chosen to take this time.
How do we use these tools, IceWave and Eon, to relieve pain? Now, there are many patches we have that will help to reduce pain. Some of you may be using X39 as your first patch, and you found that that relieved your pain. Glutathione, because it's the body's master antioxidant and acts as an anti-inflammatory. There's good ways to use the glutathione patch for pain relief. So if you're using glutathione as a detox and all of a sudden you get pain relief, don't be surprised with that. But what does the data show us about IceWave and Eon? The first thing is, for many, many years, one of the tools that we have been using, which has really been invaluable in all the different technologies that we study and develop, is infrared imaging. So this was an early study that we did on IceWave, and it's probably obvious, but if we look at the images on the left, we can see areas of inflammation and pain. So we want to look at the areas in the upper back. Then IceWave is applied, and you can see on the right that those red areas are dramatically reduced. So in addition to using things like blood tests and what's called a VAS scale questionnaire, and using an electroacuoscope, those are tools that we've used in other studies. Infrared imaging is going to show us a very clear picture. Did the patches reduce the inflammation and pain or not? And here you can see photographic evidence of how that happens. And here is another set of photos from another study that we did on IceWave, where we were using thermal imaging. You can see in this case around the neck and shoulders, around the lower back, there are severe areas of inflammation and pain, reduced range of motion. IceWave is applied. And bear in mind, this study was done years ago, before X39. And so there was more limited tools that we had available. So very often, just using IceWave will get this degree of pain relief. Why does this work, by the way? Well, when you're applying the IceWave patches around the injury or around the pain and the inflammation, it's going to crank up energy metabolism. It is going to then improve tissue conductivity. So over a period of 20 minutes, we can see this level of reduction in inflammation. Okay. So this was a study that we did. Let's see if I can show you this here. This is one of my favorite studies that we did on IceWave, because the study was done with Dr. Pierre Volkmann. And Dr. Volkmann is a medical doctor in France, and he's known as being the premier expert in pain management in France. At the time, he was working out of a hospital in France known as General de Santé. It's in Lyon. And that's where we conducted this clinical study. So this was a double-blind, placebo-controlled study. And when we go down to the results, you can see it's absolutely staggering. Now, what we had to do in this study, by the way, I should point out, we have specific protocols on using IceWave for pain relief. So in other words, you put the tan patch on the pain, you move the white patch around until you get the best levels of pain relief. But they didn't let us do that in this study. They just said, okay, apply the patches to the body and let's see what happens. And even with those restrictions, an hour after applying the patches, 94% of the subjects felt pain relief. And that's extraordinary. Pharmaceutical drugs don't get 94% of people with getting pain relief. So this just goes to show you that not only is IceWave unbelievably effective, but it does it while being incredibly safe. And we're going to talk in a moment about protocols that you can use with IceWave and Eon to help optimize your results. Okay, now this is another study that we did. I'm going to go back up over here. Yeah. Okay, so this study was done by Dr. Homer Nazarian. And at the time, Dr. Nazarian was a biomedical engineer at the University of Texas in El Paso. Since then, Dr. Nazarian has retired. And you can see we conducted this study back in 2013. So you just saw a study that was done at a hospital by a prominent medical doctor in France, which is showing 94% of the people that use IceWave get pain relief. It begs the question, what's the difference then between IceWave and a pharmaceutical drug? How would they compare? Well, we did that clinical study. So if we scroll down here to, and you can see that we had thermal imaging that we did in the study. We're going to scroll down to page 21, where we have our conclusion. So as such, IceWave patches may prove a safe and effective alternative to medications with superior performance for controlling pain. So you can read through this study. It's in the study section of our website. But here we found that, in fact, IceWave was better than pharmaceutical drugs at relieving pain. And of course, it does it safely. And then finally, wanted to provide, there's 12 studies that we have on our website on IceWave. So I just picked a few. And I wanted to pick one study on Eon relative to why it relieves pain. So let's look at the cycle here of what happens. Let's say that you bump your knee. And let's say it's or you take a fall and you land on your knee, something severe. What happens is that there's an immediate increase in oxidative stress in the tissue. Now, this sounds like a bad thing, but the oxidative stress is there to help prevent bacterial infection. You get that elevated levels of oxidative stress, and then this signals production of inflammatory chemicals. The inflammatory chemicals are there to tear down damaged tissue and make way for new healthy tissue. So we're getting inflammation. So you can see when it's managed properly, when we're young and healthy, inflammation and oxidative stress, they're a good thing. It's part of the natural healing cycle. But if that inflammation goes on for a prolonged period of time, and it will as we age because our antioxidant systems have broken down and our mitochondrial function has declined, then the elevated levels of inflammation are a problem. It's going to start to damage healthy tissue. So what we want to do is get the stress on our nervous system under control, elevate antioxidants, and that way we can get our inflammation under control. So here is a published study that we did, a double-blind placebo-controlled study, and we used heart rate variability as a method to evaluate Eon and its effects on the nervous system. We did a similar study in evaluating Eon that was done by Dr. Tom Budzinski, and we wanted to look at what type of effect Eon produced in the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. Well, in any case, the results of both of these studies were that the Eon patch does, in fact, induce a reduction in stress in the body. So not surprisingly, as a result, we're going to see a decrease in inflammation and a decrease in pain. So this bears the question then, how do we go about using these very powerful tools, IceWave and Eon, for pain management? And let's say that you're already using X39 and you've gotten some pain relief, but not enough. What would you do? Well, fortunately, the answer can be extremely simple, and this works most of the time, almost all the time. First thing you're going to do is start with a set of IceWave patches on the bottom of the feet. Now, in acupuncture, this is called kidney 1. So this is just an illustration here to help you find where the patches will go. White on right, tan on left. What you'll find by just using IceWave there is that this will reduce stress on the nervous system, produce a feeling of calm and relaxation, and will in fact reduce pain. It could take up to 20 minutes. So if you don't get pain relief immediately, give it a little bit of time. You can also combine this with a second set of IceWave patches. So for example, you could put them up on the shoulders, on the wrists, on the inside of the elbows, along with the set on the bottom of the feet. And that's going to be a nice combination. One set on the lower torso, another set on the upper torso. What do you do with Eon then? Well, that's also extremely simple. If you have X39 on the back of your neck, and then you have IceWave on the bottom of your feet, you can put Eon below the belly button, or just simply apply Eon to the point of pain. So for example, let's say that you have a pain in your knee. You would apply IceWave at the bottom of your feet, X39 at the back of the neck, and then find the most severe point of pain on your knee and apply an Eon patch. So very often, the simple things work the best. And again, I want to emphasize that doing really other simple things like getting enough protein in your diet. If you're suffering with knee pain, taking a collagen protein powder, so you've got the building blocks for making cartilage and healing the knee. These are all very, very important things. And what you'll find is that you don't have to live with pain. You can dramatically reduce or even eliminate the pain.